Hello everybody, I'm John, this is JP Strategic Investments, and today we're going to talk about Peter Evans buying Patriot One stock, and I'm going to touch on just a few things that I'm going to be looking for in the upcoming shareholder letter from Patriot One Technologies. So first of all, if you haven't seen it already, Peter Evans did go out and buy Patriot One stock on the open market. Now, while this is the first time that he's actually gone on the open market to buy the stock, he does actually have a large amount of options. As you can see just a few lines down here, he has about $410,000 worth of options at the 57-cent level. So you could essentially look at these as call options. It's a little different than that when you talk about stock options from an employer like Patriot One. But basically that's what it is. So he has the option to buy 720,000 shares at 57 cents. And if you look at the filings on Patriot One's website, I believe these options expire in 2025. So he has about 5 years for the stock to get above 57 cents. And then he can go out and buy stock at 57 cents and sell it for whatever it is higher, whether it's $1, $2, however high the stock has gone. Now, as far as the actual shares that he himself has gone out and purchased, this is what we have so far. We have 3,000 shares purchased at about 42 cents and 5,000 shares purchased at about 41 cents. Now, this is the US dollar value of the shares, even though it says PAT, which is the Canadian symbol, versus PTOTF. I was actually able to confirm that on a separate site that this is the US dollar value. So in case any of you guys were confused by that, that is why there's kind of that discrepancy there. He's not buying these shares at a lower level than the current stock price. It's just the US dollar value here, which is, it's kind of weird because it's a Canadian website, but that's what we're looking at here. So I just wanted to clarify that. Now, the interesting thing too is just before I was going to record this video, about 20 or 30 minutes ago, we actually got two more line items here. We had another purchase that just happened today of another 10,000 shares totaling at about 4,000 US dollars. And this transaction just happened today because these two transactions, even though the filing date was yesterday, the actual transaction date was one on the June 24th, and the other shares were purchased on June 28th. In the US, insiders actually have to notify the SEC and have to make public a filing within 2 days of a purchase. From what I can tell, in Canada, it's actually 5 days from the research that I've done. So that's why we have kind of this delay here. But it looks like actually there were another 10,000 shares that were purchased just today. We see the transaction date of July 5th. And so now that brings the total to just over $7,000. And you can see the amount or the share price. We have about 42 cents here, 41 cents, 40 cents. So it looks like as the stock is dropping, Peter is just buying more and more shares. So I'll keep you guys updated. It'll be interesting to see as the week goes on if the stock continues to drop, if we see more purchases from Peter. But we'll have to keep an eye on that there. The next line item here on the top, this is actually even more options now that Peter has gotten. Another 350,000 options at the 52 cent level, currently valued at about another $180,000. So that's just more stake, more skin in the game that Peter has. We now have, if you total up the 180,000 there, the about 7,000 or so there, and then another 410,000 there, that's about $600,000, 600,000 US dollars that Peter has pretty much in Patriot One stock right now. It's not, it's not all in actual shares, but if you count the options and everything like that, which I think you should, Peter has a lot of skin in the game here. So this is what we have so far, but I wouldn't be surprised if Peter goes out and buys more if we see the stock continue to drop throughout the week. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll just kind of check this periodically, and I'll let you guys know if there's any more transactions that are going on. Now, as far as what I'm looking for in the upcoming shareholder letter, I'm going to be looking at kind of a few main things here. The first thing that I'm going to be looking at is how many new contracts they have. Because remember, they had 4 in April, right? If they were able to get 4 in April, now we have May and June that we've gone through. And depending on when the shareholder letter comes out, the first quarter, the first half of July, we should at least have, 2 or 3 more contracts that we've gotten, possibly more. So that's the first thing that I'm going to be looking at. And I think we should get those based on some of the things that Peter said in the last webinar.
Okay. And what's the latest news on Vegas, Plaza Hotel? And is this still a focus for the company?
Yeah, we're still very, very much focused on casinos. The Plaza has been a great partner of ours. We closed 2 more casinos in April alone. We've got, I think in April, we had 12 more casinos aggressively get into the mix as companies that we're working with and starting to deploy pilots with. I can't give you specific names because we're under non-disclosure with most of those folks by contract, and I need prior written approval to actually allow a press release on those.
So it would seem, based on Peter's comments, that there is a lot of interest. They've been building up this pipeline. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more contracts. And actually, I think we have a confirmed buy on the mods based on another thing that Peter said in the last webinar.
All right. And have any mods products been sold to date?
Yeah. The first order was this month, and it was with one of the pro sports leagues.
So remember, that webinar was recorded in May. So when he says this month, that means it was in May, which would be this current quarter, and it wouldn't have shown up on the last earnings report. So it'll be interesting to see. One of the questions that I had about the mods when I actually interviewed Peter myself, I didn't really get a straight answer from him. He kind of said I was asking the wrong question, and I think I know the right question. I think the question that I have now is, with the mods, because it's almost like a resale, right? You're giving the product to iDent and Limitless that are coming together to make these mods, and then they're selling it to another customer or renting it out to another customer, right? So what I'm wondering is, is it kind of the same subscription model that we have with regular customers? How does that really work? Because if it's the same subscription model as a regular customer, depending on what the mods are, whether it's the 2-lane or the 6-lane, if it's the 6-lane, that could be another pretty significant addition to this quarter's revenue, right? And to subsequent quarters and subsequent years' revenue. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I'll definitely submit it in the questions for the next webinar if I haven't already gotten an answer, but that's kind of my thoughts right now around that. But it looks like we should have at least one sale of mods, which, at the very least would be another 2 lanes, right? So that's what I'm looking at there. The other thing that I'm going to be looking at is if we get any more product announcements, because also in the webinar, Peter did hint at some more products coming down the pipeline and maybe some potential future product announcements.
Do you have any new products in the pipeline?
Well, I can't comment on specifics because things haven't been publicly announced yet. We want to make sure we're announcing the right products at the right time, not too far out in front and tipping off our competitors. But we've got a really exciting and ambitious product roadmap. And again, I'm really impressed with the engineering team. They're executing very, very well. We'll be making some public announcements on those products as they get to closer to market readiness.
So, we'll have to see if any of those products are ready to be announced as far as this newsletter, but those are kind of the main things that I'm looking at. Contracts, and are there any new product announcements? But anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope, we'll see some more purchases from Peter, and again, I'll keep you guys updated on that. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.